It wasn't that long ago when lecturers used to rely on blackboards, dry whiteboards and flip charts to deliver seminars to students. We used overhead projectors and acetates to project content onto a screen long before the days of Microsoft PowerPoint or Keynote. And in order to present video footage, we wheeled in a CRT TV on a trolley with a video cassette recorder. Thank you. While it's nostalgic to look back on those days, it's fair to say we don't really miss them. And thankfully, things have massively changed since then. This course will walk you through the evolution of the classroom and give you clarity on how the modern day education space is taking full advantage of SDVoE technology. The student experience in schools and universities has changed dramatically in recent decades. Blackboards have been swapped out for smartboards to help students interact with the rest of the class directly from their own laptops, in turn allowing the process of facilitation to transform the way they learn. Lecturers no longer need to remain at the front of a classroom. They can move around the room and interact with the class while maintaining control of the AV systems by the use of a simple client interface on a tablet. The advent of learning pods has also allowed groups of students to work together, often using a large display to share content, not just with each other, but with others within the university in real time. And the adoption of these learning pods in universities across the world has allowed networked AV technology to introduce new, innovative educational approaches which are changing the way that students learn. Imagine a learning environment where students teach themselves instead of sitting through a lecture. They go home, they study the course material in an environment which works best for them, and then return to class to complete exercises, assignments and applications of the knowledge as a group. This concept, known as a flipped classroom, has rapidly been gaining steam, due in large parts to the internet and digital media and audio-visual technologies. But it isn't new. Years ago, study groups were formed to bring students together to discuss their findings, and typically this learning model was facilitated by worksheets, assignments or projects requiring application of the newly gained knowledge. At some point in the class, the teacher would dedicate a few minutes to engage solely with this small group to answer questions, clarify details, assess understanding and assign the next steps for material or study. So, as we fast forward to the present day, what makes flipping the classroom work? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Easy access to an endless sea of resources. Present-day educators can utilise AV solutions to capture the video and audio from other lectures or other presentations and upload them to the web, therefore providing students with an almost endless quantity of digital learning material previously never thought possible. And this, combined with the learning pods that we mentioned earlier, has paved the way for learning innovation. In this system, we can see the student and tutor's laptops connected to the SDVoE transmitters, along with the other AV sources which are there to assist with the class, like a media camera or a document server. Furthermore, there are some SDVoE endpoint devices which are bidirectional, saving the need for two independent pieces of hardware at the student laptop. The student can receive information as well as send his own imagery back into the system to share with others. Okay, let's explore another classroom innovation, something we call the digital canvas. In simple terms, the digital canvas is a single display showing multiple imagery and animated art in one cohesive environment. The idea that we can surround ourselves with as many pixels as possible helps educators to take learning to the next level. Learning retention is vital to the success of any course, and the digital canvas is perfectly placed to support it. Let's take a look at an example of how this might work. Now, imagine how cool it would be to combine a flipped classroom with the digital canvas. Learner pods with large display canvases to allow the tutor to interact with the students without even having to be there. And here we've only touched on 2 innovations, but clearly there are more to come in the future. SDVoE is perfectly suited to harness the power of education technology. Remember, each receiver already has the correct feature set built in and ready to go. Flipped classrooms are implemented seamlessly thanks to the flexibility of an Ethernet network and bidirectional SDVoE endpoints, saving cost and complexity compared to a matrix switch. The multiview layout can be changed at the push of a button to allow the digital canvas to perform exactly how it was intended. To achieve this with proprietary multiview processors would be prohibitively expensive and would require a far more complex design. Control of the system isn't restricted to a single client either. Multiple client interfaces can be created to allow tutors and students to quickly interact with each other without the need for any extra hardware. The growth of technology adoption in schools and universities is fully supported by SDVoE technology.